Welcome, everybody, to Adventures by D. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
I'm Dave. I'm wearing my little subtle Oswald shirt. You can barely tell. I know it's very toned down. And then this is my lovely and talented Chris, my wife.
Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in to folks. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, DWG. Rhonda's actually at Disney. Thank you so much for spending a little of your Disney time. I know that's precious time on property. So,
absolutely.
Bunch of breaking Disney news, which we're going to cover probably a little bit after we talk about the Great Disney Debate, which we're on with a special guest tonight. And while why don't we just bring in our special guest here and introduce them as I bring them in? We're going to add Tom and Joanna to the stream from Vacationeers, Theme Parks, and More.
Just a small title.
Yes, that's right.
Tom, when you created the channel and the podcast, you couldn't go smaller, huh?
No
Welcome.
way. No way. Well, actually, technically, the YouTube channel is Vacationeers Podcast. The podcast is Vacationeers, Theme Parks, and More. So... yeah, I don't know. I wanted to be very descriptive with the podcast, what we were, not just theme parks, but more. And then with the YouTube channel, it was a secondary thing, like just something extra. I'm like, we'll just do the YouTube, Vacationeers Podcast for short. So yeah, I don't know. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Too funny. And so for you guys that don't know these guys, I've been a huge fan. They do the Vacationeers, Theme Parks, and More podcast and have done it for several years on all your favorite podcast places. And I found them searching Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. So they are in Virginia. And Virginia is for lovers, although they are related by blood, brother and sister. And both enjoy theme parks. And Tom, do you want to share a little bit about how you started your channel and why? Because you have YouTube and the podcast and all sorts of stuff going on.
So I started the podcast mainly to stay connected with my son, Ian, who's also on the podcast. He's 19 now. In fact, he just turned 19 a couple days ago, last week. I don't know, something like that. But,
it was on Facebook. It'll be there somewhere.
Yeah, at some point he turned 19, and I think it was 2017 we actually started the podcast. So he was 17. So he was getting to that age where he didn't want to hang out with his old man. But we both liked roller coasters and theme parks and going to Busch Gardens. So I decided to start the podcast that way, just to find a way to keep connected with him, something we could do and enjoy. And then it gave us an excuse to go, out to other parks and do other things. As far as vacationing goes, we've been vacationing since, hardcore ever since 2010, I think, was our first family Disney vacation. And we've been every year since. We've gone on a nice big vacation or multiple vacations a year. So it seems like a good idea to do a theme park podcast and then throw in the vacation stuff, because there's more to. I didn't want to just talk about theme parks. I want to talk about, I didn't want to go on a cruise and not be able to talk about it on the podcast. I just want to be able to talk about anything I'm doing that's recreational. So that's what we decided to do. Of course, Joanna, we were doing a Movie Outs podcast. I'm not sure which one came first, actually, but I don't know. But
I'm not sure.
She's not much of a theme park person, but. She does cruises and other.
I like theme parks.
You like them,
not as much as you guys.
So she does do vacationing as well. So we threw her on, and it's been a blast ever since. It's a passion for us to do it. And again, the YouTube channel was a secondary thing that we did after the fact. That I just figured, we'll throw some POVs on or whatever else we're doing. And then I took it more seriously. And this year, we've already added more videos this year than every other year in the past, by this time. So for the entire year. So yeah, I'm really pushing the YouTube this year, and it's going well. So knock on wood. Yeah, it's a good time. It like I said, it's fun. I enjoy it, and that's why we're here.
Joanna, we appreciate you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Joanne.
Sorry.
He can't get out of his podcast host mode.
Yes.
Let me mute Dave. Hold on a second.
He's usually driving.
Yeah,
Tom's usually driving.
Tom, now we're on video now. It's not just audio, and we're on live. So
See, Tom needed an Andy Richter for his podcast, so he called me in. I just like it because it's nice too because a lot of the podcasts and a lot of the things that Tom's talking about goes over the head of most people, I think, because he goes over my head a lot, and I spend a lot of time in these parks, and he's over my head all the time. So, I like to be able to ask him questions of the things I just don't understand, to try to make his
keeps me grounded.
oddity, yeah.
Become
more accessible.
For sure.
make sure and check out Theme Parks and More. The links to their YouTube channel and their podcast page where you can link to all the major podcast platforms. It's down in the description of this live stream right down there. So check that out. Appreciate them joining. Just want to take a second to welcome everybody in that's in the chat. Welcome to BDF. I think it's Keith, correct? Correct me if I don't have your name right, though. You got a big birthday coming up here in another year, so that's awesome. You already got it planned to go to the Magic Kingdom. That is great. From somebody I've spent one or two birthdays in the Magic Kingdom, and Chris has two, so there's no better place, in my opinion.
Got to wear that big birthday button.
Oh,
and
yes.
Wear it proudly.
Oh, yes.
So every single person comments to you about it. It's amazing, right? Makes you feel very special.
And then Rhonda's actually down there. She's a Georgia vlogger, and I know she's down there at Disney property right now, so appreciate her joining. And Karki's on, one of our great moderators. Thanks for joining, Rhonda. I know you got Carol, sorry, I know you got family visiting, so appreciate you joining. Who else? Monarch Moments are in. Go check out their channel. They were on the Star Wars stream a couple weeks ago. So Garrett and Michelle and Hannah and Gabe, they got a great channel. They've been on the stream a couple times with us, so appreciate them joining.
And Tom and Joanna, if you can believe it, they stream live 3 times a week. They go live with their family on all different sort of things. They kind of have different things, different nights, but they are very, very busy, very entertaining too. But very
that's
busy.
a lot of work.
Yes, a lot of work.
And then Lori Jean's in as well. So thank you for joining. Appreciate. Good to see you. Welcome in.
And just so you guys know, as a part of what we're going to do tonight, we do need you guys in chat to help chime in on some of the stuff we're going to do. So this will be an interactive discussion we're going to have on Disney.
Hey, Chris Ball Family Vacations in. I think it's Danny. I was in his chat last night. So appreciate you joining, Danny, and welcome in. And stay engaged here because we're going to have some questions for you. As I think this is live stream number 12. We've done 3 or 4 from the parks and about 7 or 8 here from our estate.
The comfort of our home.
Yeah, the comfort of our fabulous studio here. Trying to get the chat more engaged, so we're going to have some questions for you coming up. So, Tom, let's talk about the Great Disney Debate and what that means and what we've been collaborating on here in the last couple of weeks. It was really kind of your idea, and happy to be a part of it. But why don't you explain to the folks listening when we say the Great Disney Debate, what we're talking about and what format it's going to be in and where they can find it and et cetera.
Sure, I would love to. Yeah, so I originally approached the guys at Adventures by D to do this because I know they're big Disney fans, and after going to Disneyland for the first time in 2019, I believe, was that trip, a California trip, I thought it would be a good idea to, debate on, which park had a better ride of the certain ride that they shared that might be somewhat different. So I asked Adventures by D. They said yes. We came up together. We came up with a formula or a format rather of how to do it because when we first discussed it, we weren't even sure if it was going to just be on the podcast or a YouTube thing or do an all-in-one episode, just try to do which would be insane. But we decided to do 3 per episode, and we figured, that'll probably be about 20 minutes to a half hour per episode. Yeah, the first one hit over an hour, the very first one. So thank God we didn't try to do like a bunch at one time, right? So yeah, we take 3 and we pick whoever hosts that episode. So the very first one, our channel hosted. So I got to pick the ride and which side we wanted. So I picked, for example, Splash Mountain. I wanted Disney World because I didn't like getting wet at Disneyland. So Dave and Chris had to pick Disneyland, even though they may secretly also enjoyed the Disney World version more. They had to go forward and defend the Disneyland. So then they picked. What did you guys pick? I don't even know. I think I.
Well, we did.
Fantastic.
I don't know which one.
I picked Fantastic. What was the other attraction we did?
We did the River Rapid rides. It's down in the banner going across. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So which one did you guys pick?
I don't know, but you can watch the video. The description's below. It's already up on.
Spoil it. Yeah.
But it's on Tom's channel. I've also put it in our playlist too. So the direct link to YouTube is down in the description of this video. But essentially, we compared Splash Mountains, the River Rapids ride. And you're like, what Disney River Rapids? Well, it's Grizzly River Run in DCA, and then Cali River Rapids in Animal Kingdom. And then I think the most interesting was probably the Phantasmics. I learned a lot how each show is a little bit different. Because as I'm going through this great Disney debate, I always thought, well, there's these rides. They're pretty much the same, except for maybe a couple nuances. And as I do the research, finding there's really a lot of differences between the rides if you really want to do some research and look at them, in a lot of detail.
And the caveat also is we're debating stuff that we have video of. So thank goodness for Tom and his YouTube channel, because he has videoed rides for 10 years. And so he has not everything, but a lot of them. So we try to debate things that we can show as a part of either what we're going to do tonight or on our recorded episodes. So it's fun. And we're going to let the audience, you guys are going to choose who here is going to take which side. So when we choose our first one here, you're going to say which group should take Disney World, if it's going to be Dave and me or Tom and Joanna, and who should debate the Disneyland side. Because we kind of stand up for each park's things and make a case, and then we all vote to see which one we like more. So when we make a case, you actually don't know which one we like more. That's the trick.
Can I just say that Joanna has never been to Disneyland?
That'll make it.
That
so make sure you guys select
arguing.
Tom and Joanna for all the Disneylands, because
That's
that'll
right.
be hysterical.
That's right. So
I'm sure I can argue the Disneyland case for quite a few of the rides at Disney.
We'll see if
I
we
do remember some rides at Disney World, and I was thinking, if I get picked for Disneyland, maybe that is my argument. I've been on the ride and no longer remember it.
Well, let's start with we're going to do a couple different rides live that we haven't done in Volume 1, and then we're working on the Volume 2, the vlog for it. But I thought for the live stream, instead of doing one of those 6 rides, we'd actually pick 2 different ones that we can do live. So we picked out, we're going to start with Autopia in Disneyland versus Tomorrowland Speedway in Disney World. So I want the chat for, since Vacationeers Theme Park and More is the guest, which ride do you want Vacationeers to take? Would you rather them take Autopia in Disneyland, or should they argue for Tomorrowland Speedway in Disney World?
Which shirt do you have on, Tom? You're showing your shirt.
It's a Disney World shirt,
Right.
Disneyland hat. So I'm ready. I can influence.
All right,
See, I
chat.
had one Disney shirt, and I wore it yesterday. So
What are the chances?
Yeah, so are the Vacationeers going to take Disneyland or Disney World for the side they're going to pitch for the Tomorrowland Speedway or Autopia, depending where you are? What do you guys think? Let us know.
Put it in the chat now.
Yes.
I don't have any Jeopardy music, otherwise I'd play it. Oh, there's one.
Autopia. We have ridden Autopia.
In fact, we have the driving card to prove it.
We do. I could go get that, actually. The little driver's license from Disneyland.
I demand proof.
All right. Anybody else in the chat want to chime in?
Looks like we're pegging at 100% that you guys are taking Autopia.
Of course,
Yes.
Internet never
All right.
fails.
Yeah.
All right. So you're the guest. You make the argument why Autopia in Disneyland is better than Tomorrowland Speedway in Disney World.
This is so easy. I'll tell you what, Joanna and I have not ridden Autopia. When we were at Disneyland, we went to ride it, and it was closed down. Now, I only made one attempt at it. However, it was closed at the time, so this will be an easy argument. I'm going to argue against the Disney World one. How about that? Now, I did do a little research, and apparently there's animatronics at the Disneyland one, so I'm bumming that I never actually got to ride it, and it's space themed. Is that accurate? Because that is pretty awesome. I mean, now the Disney World version, what theming would you say that? Racetrack, stinky gas. It's awful. Well, here we go.
That's its own argument for Tomorrowland. It's old, stinky gas engines.
And there's no theme. I guess it's racing. And every year they decide to cut a little bit more track off. So at some point, you're gonna move up 3 feet, stop, and that's gonna be the ride. So,
Or they just walk up and you just sniff some gasoline and go back out.
And this is my video. This is me driving this thing. Look at how it's bouncing off the rails. I'm trying to drive it, mind you. This thing is just.
This is how Tom drives most of the time.
Awful. And the dude ahead of me is Eric. He came down with us. I have the pedal pushed about halfway the entire ride because his car is just so slow. I couldn't even open it up. I never got to open it up. And God forbid we actually get to the point of this video where we stop for 10 minutes because the cars ahead of us are broken down and we're just sitting there like, what in the world do we do now? It was not very good. Now, I must say the sights right here are pretty cool with all the new Tron coaster, but I can only imagine from what I've read, the Autopia, they have rivers and trees, and it's just a beautiful sight. It's wonderful, and plus it's one of the original attractions, I believe. This is a shell of what it used to be, right? I mean, it's like, hey, this thing used to be awesome. It was huge. It'd go around all this stuff and do all this great stuff. And now, we're going to make another attraction, so let's cut it off. Hey, we're going to do this, so let's cut it a little bit more. I mean, they've basically just gutted it for anything it's worth, and they're just not getting rid of it until these cars die finally, and then they'll get rid of it. And it's just, there's that lady. See that lady right there? She's the one that saves the day about a half hour from now when we're sitting waiting for these cars to go. That's ridiculous. But this one is just, it's not something at the Magic. This is a Six Flags at best attraction that you would go to and ride. This is not something you want to ride at the Magic Kingdom.
Dagger in my heart, Tom. I don't agree. Dagger in my heart.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, yeah. All right, Joanna, why don't you give them the business?
Well, the old-timey cars at Cedar Point are much nicer than this. This have no. At least the old-timey cars look like the old Model Ts, and it's kind of neat. Yep. This is just weird and odd and smelly, and is so old that to say Tomorrowland is like, what is this?
Is it even in Tomorrowland? It's like halfway up. Tomorrowland's like gone by that. It's like in some weird middle section that you got that and the teacups. You're like, okay, what's going on here? It's just
odd. It's bad. It's like, I think all of Tomorrowland has a problem because it's like not old.
Here we go. Look.
Okay, here I go. I'm breaking it. Tom's
done. It's over, right?
Yeah, you're right. But Tomorrowland, I think the Carousel of Progress, which is just awful and takes
here's
forever,
Ian.
Hey,
Ian, bye.
Did you
sit here forever?
I think one of the issues is, did you get out of the car? You're not supposed to do that.
No, I think we mean I got out of the car. I wanted to. There's a point when I looked over to the left, and you could just walk over and just go into Tomorrowland. I was like, oh man, I could just leave right now, but I didn't. I waited. So eventually, that lady shows up and does something to the blue car. I figured it ran out of gas, but it didn't because she just came over and pushed a button and it started back up. And of course, I was behind Eric, so even at this last section, I couldn't give it gas because he's going so slow. Yeah, it was just what an awful experience. I must say though, it's pretty nice at night. It's pretty lit up. I don't know what Autopia is like, but I'm sure look at the line of cars behind us. This is like rush hour, ridiculous. Yeah, and here we go.
That is the true Tomorrowland. It's DC rush hour, right?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Yeah, but anyway,
one of them was on fire on the side of the track.
There's a homeless guy up here begging for change. But yeah, I mean, sight unseen of Autopia. It's got to be better than this. I mean, just from what I've read, so they have animatronics. Are you kidding? That would be that alone is worth riding it. I'm sure it's gone untouched since its inception back in '67 or whatever it was. So yeah, it's a beautiful. It's a piece of history. This is just a piece of crap. Done and done.
Oh my!
Oh wow!
I'm telling you, dagger to my heart. If there isn't one rite of passage as a kid, it's to drive the car in Tomorrowland Speedway or Autopia. I'll give it to you for California.
For yep, he has.
Oh my gosh! I remember as a kid doing this in Disney World. I remember Madison and Dean being next to us doing this. And there's nothing quite like having to hop in that car and almost sit on the ground and smell those fumes and the rumble, just like you're at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Just amazing as a kid, right? That's exactly what it's like. Dave, talk about the theming. Go ahead.
So the theming also, at one point when they actually ran a people forget that they actually had a IndyCar race in the parking lot of Disney World. And what that has to do with Tomorrowland Speedway, they actually had it painted and themed to more of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So I grew up in Indianapolis, so yes, that theming, was a lot for me. But I do think it's a rite of passage, really in either park. But since I've been to Disney World more, I'm going to say it's just something you take the little kids on that can't drive, and for us adults that have been used to driving so long, we take it for granted. But it's a thrill, I think, for your kids.
And those fumes at Disney World, they just set the mood. And this noise, it's so loud, like I can't imagine it without it. That's why it's bad. I mean, Disneyland, you want an electric car, it doesn't make noise, Honda sponsorship. Psh,
yes.
Come on.
The gas shortage going on right now.
Plus, they have a Christmas overlay now at the one at Disney.
Oh, yes. They have a couple LED trees. I mean, come on. Amazing.
Give me animatronics.
And then when Tron opens, being able to go by and see that roller coaster go by you, holy cow, at night.
I mean,
and they made the track shorter because of the railroad and everything, so it's going to be quicker to get around so that more people could ride it. The line's going to be shorter.
Your opening argument, though, could be true for either park. It's just the happenstance that you go to Disney World more. I mean, if your kids were into Autopia at Disneyland, you'd have the same emotions towards that. So, I mean...
True. I will say throughput is probably better at Disney World because there's actually 4 tracks. At Disneyland, there's 2 tracks. So just by that, albeit the track is a little bit longer, because I hear you, like the one thing that suffered is the speedway, because like Tron and like with the new Dumbo, it keeps getting shorter. So one thing I worry about is if they keep adding on to Disney World, it's going to get down to just like a little circle going around.
I hope so. I hope they just get rid of it, honestly. I mean, let's just kill it. Or close it and just bring it back all electric, like state of the art, just incredible. Like just don't let it, it's this lingering. It's like a shell of what it used to be. It's just sad, really. I mean,
and I always hear arguments that people want to remove the ride. It would be a dagger to my heart if it went away, because there's so many kids that do this as their first driving. I mean, slamming against the side, just like you were doing. You're
any
driving,
amusement park in the
similar.
USA has it. Any amusement park in the United States, they can go to it. Anyone. This is no different.
This track is so much different than the Six Flags Hansen cars. That's just a little loop. I mean, this thing goes around. You're at upper levels.
I would like to see him make the cars electric, though, just to get rid of the fumes.
Dave, you're going for the California side now. Come on.
I know,
Yeah, it's about time, right, Dave? Come on.
Yeah.
This day and age, you still have gas-powered cars. Come on.
For you guys in the chat, do you guys ride it? Do you do the Tomorrowland Speedway or Autopia?
Yeah, is that, if you're in the chat, is that a must-do every time you go?
Or do you do it?
Or is there like a weight limit you give it? Because I know in Disney World, there can be a big wait. And I remember at Disneyland, there is a huge queue for that ride that spans quite a bit of area. So folks in the chat, is Autopia or Tomorrowland Speedway a must-do every Disney
What is
visit?
our wait? I think it's 20 minutes for that, right? If it's beyond that, we're not going to.
Something
for that
like
one.
that.
Imagine waiting in line for that.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I can see the country bears.
It's bad enough you have to wait on the car for it to end.
Oh man.
Country Bears, that's sweet. They don't have Country Bears anymore at Disneyland, unfortunately.
Monarch Moments has 2 kids. I can't believe it. You skip it. Oh my
Wow,
gosh.
see?
Car key. I do it if my
Keeping those kids
want
healthy.
I mean, when they did the Christmas overlay, I think that brought a lot of people to the ride 2 years ago when they did an overlay.
Yeah.
Overlay is a strong statement for what they did, but they did do something with it. So
yeah, some of those at Disney World are a little like when they did the pirates for enhanced. That was Halloween, and they basically just had one dude like up on the one thing saying lines. Like, wow, really? That's your overlay. Then they turned off all the lights at Space Mountain, and that's what they called the overlay.
That was painful.
Like what?
Yes.
You're doing less.
Yes, but riding Space Mountain in the
We're not having
dark.
employees either.
Truly herniated disc riding Space Mountain in the dark. You just don't know when that turn's coming. It's already dark enough, but wow, that really shook you.
I reckon if you want to do a good overlay for Space Mountain, is you need to do Hyperspace Mountain at Disneyland.
Amen.
That was awesome.
Wonderful. I love it. Love it.
Okay, let's see. So let's vote. Let's vote in the chat. What do you think? Which one's better, Autopia or Tomorrowland Speedway?
Who wins?
Who wins?
Are we going to vote as well?
We will.
Yes. Let's see what the chat says first.
And you can't choose neither, Joanna.
This is live. No middle fingers.
It's the family channel. Okay. So while everybody's voting, when you said Hyperspace Mountain, is that a Star Wars thing?
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
It's a Star Wars thing. Yeah. They have lights and they have projections and they have music. It was better than what I thought it was going to be. I got on it in 2019 when I was out there in the summer, and I don't know how long they ran it even. And I don't even know if I knew it was there when I was at Disneyland. But I'm like, ooh, Star Wars overlay? Yes, please.
That's when I wrote it.
It was pretty good.
I think Disney World should get Mel Brooks on board and go plaid. The whole Spaceballs overlay.
I like it.
Seriously, that would be really funny.
That would be.
Pizza the Hut in there. We have
with yogurt.
Let's see here. I think we're having no votes. I don't know if this means that no one cares about this rocket.
Wait, Karki's chiming in.
What did she say?
All right.
She said Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland Speedway because you haven't been to Disneyland.
That's no
It's funny when we asked the kids about this. We asked the kids because we have done both, and they didn't remember the one in Disneyland.
It's kind of not fair because we've gone to Disney World so many times that Disneyland is something we don't get to as often, even though we'd like to, but kind of a little bit more of a haul for us East Coasters. But it's not for lack of wanting to get out there.
Yeah. And if I remember the Disneyland one, you're on levels because there's a point where you can really look over and see the track. And Disney World has it too, but it was much more pronounced than Disneyland. Like you were going up and then you're going down. It was kind of a cool layout from what I remember, and quieter.
See, the Griswolds know what's up.
Yeah, Danny takes Autopia.
I love that. That's a great name.
I know, right? And a great logo. You guys have a great logo.
Man, I should go check out their channel. They had a nice stream last night, and I believe, Danny, you're out of Oklahoma, and you've done Silver Dollar City and Branson and some other things. So correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, they're out of the middle part of the country. I like watching their channel because it's a little bit different than just Disney stuff. They do some trivia with their kids too. It's a family channel, so
cool.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I guess we can vote now. Oklahoma, got it. Thanks, Danny. All right, Tom and Joanna. I'm gonna
Disneyland, right?
We got one Disneyland, yeah. So far, Karki chose Tomorrowland. I think it's a tie so far, one for each.
I mean, one is Disneyland, two is Disney World for us. We're going to
and the middle finger is none. Okay,
yeah, none of the above.
Just kidding. Because I actually like this ride.
Oh, okay. So we're going to hold up one for Disneyland and two for Disney World. That's how we're gonna vote live. I'll just go 1, 2, 3, and no middle
One,
fingers.
two, three, or
Suspense.
1, 2, 3, and go.
The suspense.
I'm playing Lethal Weapon on us. Detective
Ready?
Riggs.
You ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. Wow, it's
Yeah.
unanimous. So Disneyland, Autopia wins.
Oh, for sure. The fumes and the lack of noise make that one win over Disney World. Although Disney World's just so unique. Like you get in there and you're like, oh yeah, I'm here. I always think if I was a cast member, where they must put the kids in the college program working that queue in the sun and the
Noise.
the noise of that car. Oh, you'd be deaf, and the smell.
That'd be
I
awful.
can't imagine the queue. But
That's not
as a
good.
kid, loved that. I mean, I've ridden that. I remember riding it with my mom. In I won't say what decade, but when Disney opened, right? So,
Nice.
so fun.
Sorry, the lights are need a little bit of water. Yes, we mentioned this earlier, but I am wearing my festive Oswald shirt. So I don't think I've got this from Downtown Disney in Orlando.
You mean Disney Springs?
In Disney Springs, darn it. Yes. Disney
They
Springs.
rebrand.
Yes, I know.
It was called Downtown Disney. Yes,
Yes.
it was.
That was only 11 years ago. So
That's what I remember it, though. A surface
But
lot you parked in and you
In
went
Disneyland,
in. and
it's still
early
called
season.
Downtown Disney.
It
So
is, yes.
I could have got it in Anaheim,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
That's true. Well, you did say Orlando, though.
I
Yeah.
did.
Sorry. Yeah.
But he did. Yeah, he got that. You love
Nice.
Oswald.
I love meeting Oswald and DCA. It's on my bucket list. I won't go into the whole story, but he's a great story of perseverance. Plus, he got traded back for Al Michaels. So, if you want to know that story, you should Google Oswald and how Disney got the rights back after they lost him for so many years. But anyway, that's a different topic. So, before we go, we're going to do Buzz Lightyear Live too. But before we go there, Tom and Joanna, why don't you? What's coming up on Vacationeers Theme Park and More, the YouTube and the podcast channel? What do you have teed up? What got any big trips planned for the summer?
Yeah, we just released an episode yesterday, 113, I believe, where we talked about me making buying airline tickets for our taking the family to Hawaii, and for my birthday, June 21st is my birthday, so we're going out that week. Well, actually, it's just happenstance. It happens to be that week. I mean, we didn't plan it for my birthday. But my wife and daughter, it's on their bucket list to do. And every year, like I said, we go on vacation. And normally we have a couple parks, theme parks. We visit a bunch of theme parks during our vacations, whether it be California or Orlando or wherever, or cruises. I guess we don't do theme parks, but it's kind of a theme park in itself. But this year we decided that we're going to Hawaii because my wife and daughter love the beach and they want to go to Hawaii. So, though there's no theme parks, there is a Wet n Wild. I don't know if we're going to do that, but anyway. So our last episode, I discussed buying airline tickets via Google Flights, and it was a little bit difficult because my daughter is going out with a friend of mine, 4 days before we go. So my friend was buying round trip tickets from Norfolk, Virginia, and she's leaving with them, but she's coming back with us. So, and she's under 16. So you can't book it online, A. B, you can't book... He couldn't book her with them because they can only book round trip during their booking, and she's a one-way. So it was quite the ordeal, to say the least. So we went into that, and we did a bunch of... that is true. It is the longest day of the year. Thank you, BDF. That's one thing I've always touted. The longest day of the year is my birthday. Every year. The summer solstice. Thank you. But
That's how I know how to text him to say happy birthday. I'm like, oh, it's Tom.
wait, it's 9
I've never
o'clock.
knew.
The sun's still out. It must be Tom's birthday.
Now, Tom, what you're neglecting to share is so Tom went, and he goes through this on the podcasts, but he went to when he went down to Florida, he went on a. You should share why you're going to Hawaii. Timeshare presentation that he sat there and listened to, and he has not quite bought timeshares. It's been an interesting journey for him, but like how he got this Hawaii, how he's getting it low cost. But it's kind of funny.
I love doing the presentations. I mean, it's really for the podcast. I don't do it for any other reason. It's just great material for the podcast because, man, it is so much fun to talk about. Listening to these people try to sell you on timeshares. And they're awful. I mean, nothing against people with timeshares. I mean, I know I have a friend at work who has a timeshare and he likes doing it, but it's just repetitive and he has hard times getting stuff and they nickel and dime you. Like if you want to do anything, it's this fee and this fee and this fee. So yeah, so we did the Hilton timeshare last summer and we said no. And then they did, oh, well, for like, $1,400, you can have this week anywhere in these locations. So I priced out Hawaii, and Hawaii is expensive as you know what. So it was definitely worth the value because we have a 2-bedroom timeshare suite that has a full kitchen. It has 2 bedrooms, it sleeps 6. It has a washer and dryer. It's in the Hilton Village in Honolulu. Of course, Ian and Jill are not going, so I got the upgraded 6 sleeper, and there's 3 of us going. So, well, actually, technically, no. My daughter is going, but she may be staying with my friend who's staying at another Hilton property, like inside that village. But yeah, so we bought that thing like in 2019, so we're finally going to use it. And I have Monsters AG. It's another timeshare thing. I know nothing about it. I get calls every week for timeshares. Every week I get a call for a timeshare. And this was another one. It's like 4 vacations, 4 1-week vacations for like $300 and with no expiration. I was like, all right, sign me up. What the heck? So we're going to Memorial Day. We're going to, where are we going?
We're going to Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. Thank you. I've never been there either. So we're going to Myrtle Beach over Memorial
Chris knows where
Day.
you're going.
He just covered it on his podcast.
I just talked about
I listen. I'm a fan.
So I'm going there over the doing a long weekend, and it's through the Monster AG. So yes, we'll be doing a timeshare presentation while we're there, and yes, I will be doing a follow-up while in Hawaii. They do a follow-up like, hey, this is how you could be living. Are you sure you don't want to buy the timeshare? And obviously it's like, yeah, right, okay. But
so he gets to spend an entire morning on his vacation listening to the sales pitch.
Yeah, this one's shorter.
Their stale muffins.
This one's shorter. This one they said would be very much more brief. Like, hey, we already got the presentation.
This has been Joanna's been ridiculing Tom about like, I can't believe you went, and then they did these podcasts where I guess we kind of give him the spoilers, but there was a hook about like what happened because this went on, and he's been trying to book the Hawaii thing. He had to reschedule it several times, right? So it's very funny listening. You could not get me in a timeshare presentation, Brad. Like I am impressed with you.
Fun.
I couldn't take the phone calls, any of it. Like I couldn't do it.
It is wonderful.
It's not for us personally.
It is a blast to listen to.
It's not for anybody.
I'm very aware. I used to be. I did sales back in the day, and so I know sales techniques, and I appreciate what they're trying to do. And I like watching them do it's like a magician, right? Like they're trying to sell you on this, and they got to get you. They got to say this, and they have buzzwords, and they want to lead you this way. And they try to get you to answer in certain ways. That way, basically, you affirm that they want. But I got them to actually confirm that I'm not one of their people. Like I reversed. I did a mind trick on Jedi mind trick, and the lady was like, "What did I say? I can't remember." I was like, "Well, I don't want to do this for something because our customers don't think that way." I said, "Well, I guess I'm not one of your customers then." Yeah. And she was like, "Okay." So yeah, to me, it's like chess, right? It's like having fun, and I don't mind doing it for get a decent discount at a hotel. And like that first one, that Hilton one. We got that stay, and we have a trip. We have a free cruise on. Boy, help me out here. What's the cruise line?
Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean. So we have a Royal Caribbean cruise that we can book for free. Now, free is the fees. You still have to pay the port fees, and you have to pay the gratuity. So there will be some out-of-pocket expenses, but essentially you get a free cruise with that. And actually, I have to book that by June. I think that expires. So I could go on the phone. Yeah, I got to go on the phone and do that. But yeah, to me, it's just fun. And plus, then it's a great time to talk about on the podcast. It's just, I love it. I love it. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for the podcast. When they called me that first time and they gave me the offer, I'd refuse it like I always did in the past. But I thought, you know what, this is really good material, and let's do it. And I
have found it quite entertaining, Tom, listen to you talk about it. Now you're starting to be able to go on some of the trips because of what you went through, and you will continue to go through. On the cruise ship, are they going to lock you in an enclosed room for 2 days and waterboard you?
Yeah, I got
the free cruise.
The cruise ship there's no presentation or anything. So
yeah, it only takes you to Bermuda.
You gotta go to the island and listen to a 3-day presentation to get back. So
the Monster AG thing, I think the Monster AG, they said only the first vacation you have to do a presentation. The other 3 are free from vacation or free from the presentation. So yeah, I got 4 weeks for $300 or something. It might be garbage. Who cares? To me, it's worth the story. The $300 is worth just having fun. We're going down to Myrtle Beach. We'll see. In a couple of weeks, listen to the podcast because I'll be talking about it and how the presentation went and how the vacation went and how the room was. So we got a lot to talk about coming up.
And the nice thing is because I'm actually going to Myrtle Beach later this summer, and I can borrow Tom's timeshare.
There you go.
You got to rent points.
That's so funny. I did have a question on Myrtle Beach. So there is this new amusement park opening, and my question is it where the old one was and they just redid it? Because we went there, it's right across the street from the beach, and they had a log flume and a rickety roller coaster and a couple other things there. You remember that, Dave? Madison got me on the log flume when she was really little, but I don't know if that's the same thing or.
No, that park is still standing. I think this is a brand new park that was just a parking lot before. So. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be reminiscent of King's Dominion for sure. Just rides in a parking lot.
King's Dominion used to be the Richmond Airport, right? It's just a tarmac with rides on it. No scenery. There's one potted plant in the middle.
But we are definitely going to that park and riding that coaster that spins as you go around. Oh, I'm probably going to
awful human being, Thomas.
I'm doing it. I want to actually send them an email and ask them if I can record on it to do a POV on it. I should probably do that sooner than later. But that's supposed to be opening soon. So I don't know where they are, if they're behind schedule. I'm hoping it's open. I am 100% planning on spending a couple hours there while we're there.
Hopefully soon means while you're there. Hopefully soon.
Oh, it's supposed to open before we go. Supposed to be opening before. Yeah.
It's 2 weeks.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Welcome in if you're just joining to the chat. We're here with Tom and Joanna from Vacationeers, Theme Parks, and More. And we're talking about the Great Disney Debate. And Tom and Joanna were talking about their timeshare adventures and then their local trips or their trips coming up.
And Joanna's Tom's talking about it. I'm not.
Yeah, Joanna, by all means, what do you got going on this summer?
No, I'm actually going to I'm going to Myrtle Beach. An old Air Force buddy hit me up a couple months ago. He was my old roommate almost 30 years ago.
Awesome.
Hey, we're going to be in Myrtle Beach. Is that near you? I said, no, of course not, but I'm coming to see you anyway.
That's
30
awesome.
years ago. Woof.
Wow.
Wait, isn't it weird to say that?
Yes,
I don't think I can say that.
I just don't feel that old. But I don't want to come back the day. It wasn't quite 30 years, but it was close enough that it's a rounding error at this point. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and his family. He's from Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota.
So I've been practicing my accent for him.
Update, the Funplex, that's what it's called. It is open.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no. It says it's not open today. Never mind. Abort.
Maybe it's weekends. Maybe they're starting weekends.
It says all hours are tentative. Check
always
back
a good
very
sign.
soon for an opening date.
They have to pass their safety inspections, Tom. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, if the Funplex isn't open, I can run down to that tiger sanctuary and see if that duck guy will marry me.
He got in trouble though, right? He got arrested or he got something going on.
He did a month or so ago in the news, didn't he? He said he blamed it on something. I forget what it was, but yes.
Probably
Tiger King won't go away.
What's her name? Oh, that
Carol Baskins.
Carol Baskins.
Carol Baskins.
She's given a $5,000 reward for a tiger that's running around in Texas, right?
This
Right now.
Disney Great Debate stream has taken a hideous
It's just
turn.
like any podcast. Seriously,
Let's-
I love talking
let's
about
reel
it.
it back in. Let's
Dave can't stand it, and I'm like,
Thank
let's
you, Dave.
go for the tangent.
Yes, let's not even go down that
I
road.
love it.
So let's go back to the Great Disney Debate.
Oh, did you
For
guys
those
wanna
who
talk
join
Disney?
us? Yes, let's go back to Disney. We talked about the Speedway, so let's talk about Buzz Lightyear.
Oh yeah.
The two rides. We got the Buzz Lightyear. Easy for me to say.
Apparently, you
Space
needed a
Ranger.
bud tonight before we had our discussion. Just
That's
kidding.
afterwards. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. Welcome in, Daniel, in Disney World. And then we have the Buzz Lightyear, the name escapes me, in Disneyland.
Astro
What's
Blast.
the name? Astro Blasters. Hey, Daniel, welcome in. So now let's talk about, if you're in the chat, we're doing the Great Disney Debate. So one of us, like Adventures by D here, Chris and I, we need to take either Disney World or Disneyland for Buzz Lightyear. And then Tom and Joanna are going to take the other park. And we're going to tell you why each park is different. Each park is better, sorry. So if you're in the chat, which ride would you like to see? Which parks Buzz Lightyear would you like to see Vacationeer and Theme Park and More take? Either the one in Disney World or Disneyland. So put in the chat which park which Buzz Lightyear you want to see Tom and Joanna take. I did an awesome job explaining that.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I know.
So, do you want to see Tom and Joanna do the Disneyland version of Buzz Lightyear or the Disney World to defend it, to espouse its virtues, to see which one we vote for? What do you guys think? Disneyland or Disney World? We'll give it a minute. If not, we're going to let you guys vote since you are the guests. Which one you will choose.
Oh, I like that. Okay, everybody,
Right,
don't
there we
type
go.
anything. Stop typing in chat. Stop typing.
no.
we got
Car Key has voted.
Oh, giving you Walt Disney World.
We got one vote
That doesn't
for
necessarily mean that's us. Oh, yeah, because you asked specifically for us.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
yes. Don't try to
find a
get out of it. Don't find a loophole.
Tom's here waving a hat like anyone recognizes the logo from one park for another.
All right, there you go. How was that?
There we go.
Don't try to influence the chat like that.
I need to do reverse psychology. I want Disney World. Thank you, Karki. Oh, okay.
Daniel
Well,
says
everyone-
Disney World for both.
That's only fair.
All right. If nobody else speaks up in the chat, you all are going to have Disney
Our
World.
Yeah,
pick.
you are. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to share the screen and start the Disney World POV. But Tom and Joanna, you're the guests, so you tell us why Disney World's better.
You're going to get Disney World's
It's fantastic. I'm
version.
so
All
happy.
right.
This is exactly what I wanted.
Joanna, you've probably actually ridden this, I'm going to guess.
I have. I think so.
Oh, no, you have. Don't say think so.
I'm
100%
pretty sure
have.
I have.
You
Okay,
remember
good.
it
See,
distinctly.
That's why I go. That's why I go to the parks with Tom. He can tell me I've been there.
All right, Joanna, you begin. You want to start?
Yeah, Disney World. This ride's a lot of fun. It's the shooter. I mean, they're all just kind of the same, right? You just go in and shoot. This is the shooter, right?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm bad at these. I just go in and I shoot, and I never actually get the high score like Tom and Ian always have 10 times the score I do, and always come out with a low score. But I have a lot of fun, and I'm never disappointed. So it comes out really good for me. And it's Toy Story. It's fun. It's a blast. You go in, you have a great time, and it was so good that I decided I didn't need to go to Disneyland.
That's right. That's right. Good point. Good point. Here's
So
another.
nice
Here's
one.
another advantage of Disney World
Mhm.
for people like Joanna, who really have no chance of scoring versus veterans or people who can shoot and who have hand-eye coordination, who got some skill. Disney World sets an even playing field because there are certain targets that give big points. So if she was prepped as to what targets to hit, she too could score a bunch of points and show off against these kids who may not know, who are better shooters who play video games all day. You know, they're playing Call of Duty, so they're shooting stuff left and right, but they're shooting for like 100 points where Joanne's going 100,000 for each shot. She can come out looking like a goddess. Like, look at me. Look, this old lady can do it. Where these kids will be like, ooh, that's impressive. Tell us more. So Disneyland, as far as I know, the different shapes have different values, but there are no like hidden gems where you can score big points. And this is a proof right here. This video, watch Chris max out this score. It's not because she's a sharpshooter. She wasn't in the military.
Of course it is.
She knew which ones to hit, and she maxed that sucker out. And now everyone, including myself, are in awe at her greatness. Like, ooh, that's wonderful. Disneyland, you're not getting that. I'm sorry. If you don't have the skill, you're coming out embarrassed. And it's like, oh, boy, look at this. Can't bring grandma to the park because she can't do anything. She's lame. Nope. No, not in this ride. This ride,
you're really stretching, Tom.
You can be just like in, hold on. I'm blanking on the, oh, man, how come I blank on it? What's that? Oh, man, the greatest ride ever.
By Monarchs.
Right next to this ride. Are you kidding me?
In Disney World?
Yes.
A show, right?
Carousel of Progress?
Carousel of Progress. You could be just like that old lady in the last scene where she's impressing that kid. That can be you at Disney World. Disneyland, look at that score. Look at that. She maxed that sucker out. Again,
of course I did.
Probably only hit 3 targets the entire game, but she maxed out that score regardless because she knows where to go. She knows the tricks, and that enabled that evens the playing field. You know, the little kids who play video games, you can come out, you can show them what's up. It's wonderful. Disneyland, you can't do that. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're gonna come up and you're just gonna be embarrassed. Look how happy. You don't get that kind of happiness at Disneyland. You don't get that joy.
This is Tom being jealous because when he went in January, he tried to get my score and couldn't. He wasn't anywhere close, and that's him being jealous right now.
Miserably. I was shooting at the wrong hand. It was awful.
Well, look, not only is it enough to see the score, but then we have to see the rank with the score. So
of course, look at that. Cosmic Commando. You're not a Cosmic Commando in Disneyland. I promise you that. But in Disney World, you are. You're top rank. You're a commander in chief. You're the best of the best, man.
Did you know you're supposed to get I believe you can get a special button if you max out the score in Disney World.
If you ask.
Really?
No, you can't do that at Disneyland because you can't max a score probably. There probably is no max score. But Disney World, you can max it out, get a button, get your name on something, and get a little certificate, so whatever it is. Yeah, wow. What a day. What a souvenir. What a way to go out. What an attraction, I tell you. Disney World, it's the greatest. And the queue's cool. They got that big robot. I was at the Disneyland one. I don't even remember the queue. I don't remember what the outside facade looks like. It's kind of away. It's like next to Star Tours, which is weird anyway to be in that. It's just, I'm a Disney World, that's my home park, as it were, for a Disney park. So, for me, it's weird to go walk in Disneyland and see that stuff. And so, yeah, definitely 100%. Just no brainer. Disney World, better attraction.
All right. Before we discuss all the great things about Disneyland's Buzz Lightyear, welcome in Tim Pruitt. Thanks for stopping by. So Disneyland Buzz Lightyear. I mean, all I can say is the guns are not stationary. You can actually pick them up. That alone should make the ride better. As far as the location, it's not that much different. It's just as you walk in Tomorrow, it's on the left instead of the right Tomorrowland.
Exactly.
It's right there, very close. So to me, the locations of push, they both got great locations in front of the parks, both parks. But, just to be able to take the gun out and be able to maneuver it without having to flip the car around, to me, is a big plus for Disneyland's version.
Hey, Disneyland's version in the queue has plants. It's not just a concrete jungle. There's actual beauty to look at while you're waiting outside. That's a bonus, too. I know it's a small bonus, but when we were preparing for this, I went back to see what I had, and what I had was pictures of the plants out in the queue because I couldn't believe there were plants. I really did from Disneyland. That's what I didn't have any of the... I think we have a few seconds of like Buzz Lightyear. It's a little bit different inside when you go in.
I think the queue is a lot shorter inside at Disneyland, which makes sense. They don't plan for a lot of 100-degree days in California, even though they do have some.
Yeah. So lots of fun. Both are fun. I love shooters.
Disney World, though, I I mean, of course, back in the day, you have fast passes or whatever, which you didn't really need. But you walk on that ride. You don't have time to look at plants because you're busy getting on the ride. And as far as the guns go, that is just dangerous. You're going around, swinging that gun around, hitting your freaking kid in the head next to you. Are you kidding? No way. Have them planted on the vehicle. It's safe. It's better. And in longevity, the guns, you yank the cords, they're not going to work. And then what's good to shooter, being on a shooter? Trust me, I've been on many Cedar Fair rides where you have a shooter, but the gun doesn't work right. It's just dead. It's like, what's the point? I mean, that's the main focus of the ride. If that doesn't work, what's the point? Those ones that are stationed on the vehicle, those aren't breaking. Those suckers are nailed in there. The ones that you're yanking, pulling it.
Half the time they don't aim right. The ones at Disney in the Magic Kingdom, they're like they don't work sometimes.
Yeah, if they don't work, a lot of times at Disney they actually close the car, or they'll tell you half the guns don't work. Not every time, but better than most parks.
Oh, come on, Tom went to Disney World in January, and he sat there complaining on the video about how the gun wasn't aiming and he couldn't shoot.
You don't worry about that.
It's on the. But I have great memories. You and Madison would go when Magic Kingdom was open late once upon a time. You guys would go ride Space Mountain, and Dean and I would just like do Buzz Lightyear over and over. Late in the evening, there's no wait, and you could just do it over and over and over and over. So fun. You just come out and you run right back in. So, ton of fun.
Tomorrowland late at night is the greatest experience that you'll ever have. It's just. I could just walk around, not ride a single ride, just walk around there like at 2 a.m. That's heaven. That's it.
With
that's all
the colors and the music. Yeah, it's really neat.
I'm
so
empty. Oh man. I'm so glad things are starting to open up a little bit, and hopefully we're gonna talk about the Boo Basher coming up in a second here. But before I leave the Great Disney Debate, those in the chat, why don't you vote on which one you like better, Buzz Lightyear out in Disneyland or Disney World? Put it in the chat, and then we'll give our final say-so, and then we'll move on to recent theme park news.
Did anything happen today? I don't know. Like,
yes.
The world changed at starting like 4 o'clock this afternoon.
We need an intro to our segment, recent theme park news.
Okay.
I'll have to make that happen. I have a visual in my head. It'll be a segment in our show.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I love segments.
Yes. We got any vote coming?
You going to do an Anchorman theme of it?
Something like that. Yes.
That would be fun. You got to get your.
I'll have to pull out the green screen for that. Probably.
You're gonna have to get a garnet jacket.
What are you doing? I'm not doing Ron Burgundy.
Why not? Come on.
That'd be awesome.
Car key votes for Walt Disney World. Any other votes in the chat? Hey, if you're watching, you haven't hit that thumbs up, please consider hitting the thumbs up.
And make sure you guys comment about what you guys like about the rides, too, in the replay.
Yeah, if you're watching the replay, thanks for joining us. We're sitting with our friends and our collaborators, our constant collaborators. We've done a lot of streams and podcasts together. We enjoy it. So it's Tom and Joanna from Vacationeers Theme Parks.
I'm a fangirl with them, so...
Their links.
I am, because that's how I listen to your stuff, and I reached out to you guys.
Yeah,
their
that's
links.
True. That's true.
Yeah. Let's see. What does Tim say? Oh, that's okay. It doesn't have to be fair, Tim. Just whatever you think is better.
And maybe the better one is the one you've written. Maybe not.
Yep.
Which is probably going to be Walt Disney World for a lot of folks.
Yeah. All right. So one, we'll vote on 3, not 1, 2, 3, go. So one will be Walt Disney World. 2 will be Disneyland.
Oh, now you're mixing up the numbers too.
Okay. Yes. All right.
So Disneyland is 2 and Disney World is 1.
Yes.
All right, that's confusing. All right, that's it.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my Lord, Dave, you're 1. You went Disney World?
You went Disney World?
I did go Disney World, yeah.
Oh, Dave talked me into Disneyland, and I haven't even done
I would say, I guess more so. I know. I knew the secret. I kind of know where to shoot in Disney Worlds, even though I've never maxed out the game. And to be fair to me, when I filmed Chris's, I wasn't actually playing.
Excuses.
But I know more of the secrets and I'm more comfortable there. I don't have anything against Disneyland, but if you're going to make me choose, I'll just say...
the one you've ridden a ton?
Yeah, actually one I've ridden a ton.
It's so fun. I love that ride. I really do. I think it's a lot of fun.
Why did you all vote Disneyland? Or were you just confused? Were you confused because I changed the numbering from the first time?
I was going to go 3, but no one voted. No, honestly, I don't like the fact that there's big score numbers. I don't like that you can cheat. I'd prefer you earn your points. Like to me, at Universal, their Men in Black, that is the greatest shooter ever made.
Tom is like a theme park libertarian.
I love that ride.
There is no leg up.
And it's just, I like the fact that, everyone's on a even playing field. And honestly, the controlling your car and having the gun, that just drives me insane. Like, I don't have the motor skills to be able to do that, to pull that off. So I like being able to pull it up and aiming where I want to go. And it's so much better. And I don't like it because honestly, Disney World, after the first 2 rooms, you're done. You don't have to shoot anymore because you can either maxed out or you're so close or you've totally screwed it up and you're frustrated because you missed out on all the big points and you're just like, screw this. It's very frustrating. I'd rather just have an even playing field game in Disneyland where, yes, you have to know like squares are worth so many points and triangles are worth this many points. If you know that, but everyone can know that, and it's throughout the entire attraction, and you can really, you can improve. Like Disney World, you don't have to improve. You just have to know where to shoot and be able to shoot those spots, and you're going to max out. Man, if you can do that, why ride the ride?
Oh, they're back.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast.
How about that?
Here.
Literally don't know. It's coming out of the webcam now.
Okay.
Nothing like tech. That was interesting. Okay, switching cameras.
That's why we do nothing live.
It just, sorry about that, guys. So, we did hear everything you were saying. So
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all are skilled professionals. That was a test. I actually had to go to the bathroom, so I just unplugged everything. When
all the cameras went out. So, so we did want to segue into different news that's going on today, like big news. CDC government news about changes in mask requirements that they're going to recommend. I don't know if it's effective immediately, if they just put it out and that's the way it is, or, and every location gets to choose what they want to do outside of this in state and local. But I'm sure everyone's seen that now, outside and inside, if you've been vaccinated, the CDC is saying you do not have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated.
I'm back.
And that literally just came out, 4:00 or so?
Well, then Disney had their earnings call today, and they're saying they're increasing capacity too. So I don't think they gave a number today, but I don't think the timing, of the CDC guidelines and updated, and then them saying increasing capacity, that's not coincidence. So there's a lot of rumors that the mask mandate may go away at Disney at some point in the near future. I don't know that for a fact.
I'm wondering if the reservations will stay. I'm really wondering. It lets them predict who's going to be in the parks and when. Now, their park hopping doesn't give you a prediction because after, 2:00, you can move to a different park. But I wonder, when we buy, I'm sure you guys buy when you're on vacations, even if you bought a Universal ticket, you were choosing a day. If you were buying tickets to go in, you did choose a day that you were going to enter. And Disney was the same way. It was just a range, right? It was like, but you didn't have to make a reservation. So I wonder about it just for them and their business model, if it helps them, if it limits capacity on certain days, if they don't want people to get in. It's interesting because when you compare Universal and Orlando right now, that you can just go. Yeah. And people are showing up on the weekend and it is full.
Oh, yeah.
And the way you find out is either there's a sign or you watch Twitter, like Twitter, Instagram. They'll put it up. Like I see it all the time. And then about 3:00 in the afternoon, they'll say, "Okay, we're open again." It's hours. But with Disney, that wouldn't happen to you because you'd have a reservation and know you could get in. So I just think, gosh, could you imagine if you bought all this money and you weren't staying in a hotel? At Universal, if you stay on site at a hotel, you get in. You're not going to have a problem. But if you were staying off site and you spent all this money and you got there at 11 o'clock or 10 because you didn't get there at 7:30 in the morning, like you'd be out for hours. You'd be so frustrated. So
you'd have to plan that, right? If you want to sleep in, you better stay at the resort. If you're up and early, you can stay away. Honestly, Universal, there's no reason not to stay at one of their resorts because they are priced just as comparable to anything on iDrive. I mean, there's no. I mean, you can stay there's resorts under $100 a night. I mean, there's really no reason not to stay at Universal unless you own a timeshare or something to that effect. But yeah, I mean, Universal, you might as well just stay because the price you're going to pay comparable to what you're going to pay outside, you're not going to save that much money. And plus you get the transportation and Universal transportation. Let me tell you something. I stayed at Endless Summer a couple times and a couple Endless, or what's the other ones? I don't even remember. A couple of different ones. And you walk outside for a bus, it's there waiting always. Like I've never have to wait for a bus. So, good on you, Universal. I would say go ahead. Now, the mask thing is very interesting because the CDC clearly stated you have to be vaccinated to not wear a mask. Disney is not going to tread that line of the the legal ramifications of asking people about their medical history by asking if you have been vaccinated. So prepare to be wearing a mask at Disney for a very long time because they're not going to. How are they going to tell? I mean, it's literally against the law to ask them to ask if you've been vaccinated, right? I mean, it's against the medical history stuff. So,
although Disney is private property, though. So
that doesn't,
and it's not really HIPAA violation. Lots of people ask if you're vaccinated.
But if you go to Disney
go to schools
and
without vaccination records. You can't travel. You can't go to certain countries without vaccination records.
But you can't go to Disney and ask for the what's that card? The special, get front of the line card because you have kids that or whatever.
Oh, the Disney, the disability.
Yeah, disability. Disney can't ask you what your disability is. They can't legally ask you what your disability is.
But disability and have you been vaccinated are very, very different things.
Is it? It's still your medical history.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't believe that's the case. I think as far in the eyes of the law,
HIPAA doesn't reach into vaccine history because schools do vaccines all the time.
Well, I heard. Where did I hear in California? There you can it's a bar. You can buy your cards. I mean, you get a card. You can just make one up, right? I mean, it's a dime a dozen. Buy these
it's still
eBay.
illegal. I mean, I can make my own driver's license too, Tom.
Can you? I doubt it.
I mean, people have been making fake
your
IDs
driver's
forever.
license. An old Autopia
are so
thing?
funny.
No way. There's no way you're making
I have one that says McLovin.
Let me ask you guys, what do you think? Because we're all planning on going to Halloween Horror Nights, right? For each of us, if it works out based on stuff. Do you think masks will be required at that event?
100%. Yes. Everyone's going to be A to toe, as it were. So they're going to have to, right? They're going to be indoors. They're going to be lined up in their line. They're going to have to. I mean, there's no way they're going to get away.
I'm fully vaccinated. I don't mind the masks. I'm used to them, and I have some that are really cute. So,
wow. Well, you cut a hole in them too, so you can breathe.
I think it's
gonna really nice ones with the patterns that match different outfits. They look really nice.
Oh my god, you have matching masks.
Yes, you don't.
Yeah, it's black. It matches everything.
I think it's going to be interesting how long the masks go. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know.
I know what I can tell you is when we went to Disney in late August, early September, it was very hot with one on. I'm happy to wear it. I like wearing it. I don't have a problem. In a way, you feel like you have a layer of protection if you go someplace, right? But it was so, and I'm just thinking these summer months coming up, will they do something where if you're outside, you don't have to wear it like Dollywood does that? Like if you're you can anywhere outside, you don't have to wear it. If you're in a queue line or inside a building, you're supposed to, or a shop. Like that's their rule. Now it's supposed to be, you're supposed to put it on outside if you're within 6 feet of someone, but we just wore ours all the time.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But they said queue line and inside. And Wild Adventures is the same way. So I wonder. I don't know. It was just like all that hitting, and then they pretty much admitted they've already increased capacity at Disney. Like, and it was, so everyone's been wondering what it is, and they didn't release what it was right now. So, but you do see, I mean, parks are full, you know, when you see everyone there in the pictures.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that you said that you didn't like the heat with the masks. I find it more, I don't like the cold with the masks because I wear glasses. And in the heat, I can work it where I don't get fogged up. In the winter, when it's cold, it is very hard for me to wear that mask properly. And properly is the key word there. I can wear it wrong and not have an issue. Wearing it properly and not fogging up my glasses is very hard. I would much prefer to have it. No, obviously, in the cold, yeah, having a nice, your breath bouncing off and, you know, warming yourself up. But I can't see anything because my glasses are fogging up. So I would much rather have it in the summer. But that's just me because I have glasses. So go figure.
What do you all think of the Boo Bash announcement from Disney?
I don't know. I mean,
what?
I think they should just bring back. Yeah, I know. Joanna. Yeah, there you go.
So there's Joanna. There's a newer Halloween party called the Boo Bash. It's going to be a separate ticketed event. After hours on select nights from August 10th to Halloween.
Because at Disney, Halloween starts August 10th, but I am all for that. Like, if Halloween started now, I'd be like, yes, let's decorate the house. But but I'm okay.
It's 9 to 12, 9 p.m. to 12 till midnight. You can get in the park as early as 7 p.m. with a ticket.
Yeah,
and they haven't released how much it's going to be yet.
I want not so scary.
With little kids, it would be awesome, right?
Well, it's not. They have the not so scary, which you haven't.
Yeah, we were the not so scary.
You're at that. You're at the Christmas one too, right?
Yes.
Oh, so you did both.
Maybe.
Look at that. See, she's got this. You did the Christmas one. I know you did the Christmas.
I know
one.
I did the Christmas one because I had cookies and hot chocolate.
Yes. Were you at the Halloween one?
I can't recall.
Yeah, I don't think you were, but that's okay.
Maybe not.
I think they should have brought back Boo to You. I mean, again, it is August. Yeah, you're right. It's not the fall. It's mid-dead center, but summer. I don't know. They could do social distancing. I mean, I don't know. I guess they're not going to do a parade. They're still going to have the little cavalcades with Boo to You moments. So it's the same. I mean, I don't know. They could do I don't know. I love Not So Scary. So
I do too.
I mean, at least they're having something, I guess. And Not So Scary, you get in at 4 to midnight, so you're losing hours. I'm sure this new price, this ticket's going to be just as much as Not So Scary.
And I wonder, their after hours events, this seems like what it's themed after. Like they had the villains after hours, the Maleficent Dragon came out. There were kind of some parades and that sort of stuff. It includes, though, all you can drink soft drinks, ice cream, popcorn, as a part of whatever that cost is. I'm curious if that's what they're going to do with this Halloween thing, is throw in those other things and make it the cost of one of these after hour things. And they were expensive, like $100, $125 a ticket, right, for after hours. Because at one time we're like, oh God, that's like family of 4. That's a lot of money. We're $500 just for that 3 hour window. Yeah. So now you add the 2 hours earlier. I love that Boo to You. And I love that song. I know it drives people crazy. I will play that all. Ask Dave.
We watch every vlogger every day, every parade. If we're not there, we see it on YouTube.
I'll watch it. I just love that song and. Yeah,
in 2010, our family vacation, the day we checked in, so we went down with my parents who had an RV. They own an RV. So we stayed at the campground, the Fort Wilderness. Yes, thank you. Wow, look at you go. Ding, ding, ding.
So I know something. I stayed there. I swam in that lake that one time. I did that race at Disney.
They won't let you do. Oh yeah, they don't like it.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah,
that's what happened to you, Joanna. You got some amoebas.
I did some Disney triathlon, and I didn't get eaten by an alligator, which is kind of to get attacked at Disney.
That's right. You said that you did that there.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
But so we pulled in, and the very first day, our check-in day, was the Boo to You, or the Mickey's Not So Scary. So that was our first, as a family, our first exposure to Disney for the kids. And we went in.
Oh, wow.
And the kids dressed up, and I don't think my daughter did the. No, I think they did. The kids, the boys did the Pirates League, and my daughter did the Bibbidi Bobbidi. So I mean, it was just, to me, the Not So Scary is, just so many memories, and it just means so much to me. And I remember sitting there for that first night watching the Boo to You parade, in that Boo to You, Boo. Forget about it. I mean, I hear that, and it just takes me back to 2010 with my kid. Now my youngest is 15 and my oldest is 19. So when I go back to 2010, I think of those memories when they were little and everything was so fresh. And it was literally the beginning of our vacation, like our beginning of our Disney vacation. This is the first thing, and we knew we had a whole week ahead of us of just this magical experience. It was so wonderful. So yeah, to me, Mickey's Not So Scary is more than just a ticketed event. It is a way of life, and to not to have it, even if I'm not going that year, like if I'm not planning on going this year, it's just not being there. I still miss it. I still wish it existed, because I don't want it to I don't want them to get comfortable with it not existing, right? I don't want next year, when everything's back to normal, they're like, oh, well, we don't need that anymore because now we got this new business model that's making us a ton of money. It just scares me. I love Not So Scary, and I will go to that thing, and I will pay as much as they want to charge me. I'll begrudge it, not mind you, but I will pay it. But I love it. I love it. So
what's interesting for us, and it's probably with you guys, when you come in town, we don't live in Orlando, so when we go, you want to do the rides, and then you also have the party, and you're paying the cost of a ticket, like if you were going to get in the park for a day, but it's at night and there's special things. Our family is always like at odds of what we're going to do. Now that the kids are older, we would let them go do rides. Like, I waited my time to see that parade. I actually saw both the last time. There was two of them. No, nobody else. Dave eventually came. He progressively came with me. But, like, everyone wants to ride the rides. You want to see Pirates. Because you're not in the park that often, so that's your 3 to 5 hours to ride those rides. But you can't do the rides and the characters and see the parades. And I know this is a limited experience, but the first thing I thought of was, if we went to this and we had the kids, would they just go do whatever, which would mean they wouldn't partake in Halloween, because they're going to want to take advantage of the Magic Kingdom. Now, they might see if they have a thing in Pirates like they did before, or Space Mountain. But you have 3 hours. I always think in that 3 hours, how much are you running around that park trying to get from ride to ride to ride? Because it could take you 3 hours.
It could take you 3 hours just to meet Jack Skellington and Sally. That could take 3 hours.
You wouldn't even get. And this one, you'll probably walk by and wave at them, right? They'll be up on
this
something.
Time,
But like, I just think, when I hear those after hours things, I was like, oh, that'd be cool, Dave. Maybe we should try one. But then it's the yang of, well, are we going to get the value of what we want out of it? Because there's too many things that are.
Especially if you're spending $125. You're spending $125. You might as well buy a day ticket and get 10, 12 hours in the park, and we can do anything.
Well, that's because we're ride people, the kids for sure. And they're like, I don't want to, they like the parade, but they're like, I want to go ride Thunder Mountain. I want to go, and I can't blame them. I can't blame them. So
I'm with you, Chris. I'm watching the parade. I'm watching the stage shows. After the big crowds, like after the first couple hours, I go hit the lines for the candy. I'm doing all the special stuff. The rides, it's great to have short lines, and I'll do that. Like, I know when we first go, like, because we always go, we maximize as much as we can. That's my way of life. So at 4:00, I'm at those gates, because, usually they let you in around 4:00, and I'm there. And that's when you can, back in the day, you could make fast passes. Even if you only went to the party, you could still make fast passes from like 4 to 6, I think. So I set like 3 fast passes,
1 or 2
overlapping. Yeah. And I'd set all 3, and we'd do those, and I'd ride the rides. But then, man, at 7:00, when this party started up, I was like, all right, let's. I want to see the fireworks. I want to do the parade. I want to do all the special stuff for that. And yes, they do trick you now. In the last couple of years, they're like, hey, ride Pirates after 7:00, and there's special enhancements. Ooh, ride Space Mountain. So so now it's like, I can ride it beforehand.
What do I do? Yeah,
I have to ride it after too to see the enhancement, and usually it's a disappointment, but it's wonderful. It's tough.
I mean, I can't. We literally, I was like, oh my gosh, would we do it? And the first one is supposed to be August 10th, and school here starts the 9th, of course, of August. So I was like, well, maybe we would do a surprise. No. So All that being said, because I just love it. And when we go for Halloween Horror Nights, maybe we'll try to fit one in. Maybe we won't. That's the other thing, too. You got Halloween Horror Nights. We're going to try to go 2 nights. Like, then how many nights do you have? Do you want to spend another night running to Disney? You're exhausted. You know, like you're...
And then you want to split the hotel stay between Disney and Universal. Like, that's
we did that one year. We started at Disney and we went to Universal. We will never do it again.
It's too much moving while you're down there. Just one hotel room and then I'll just take a Uber to Disney. But one of the things that I really liked about the Booteroo 2 years ago was in the Jack Skellington show with the fireworks and the projections was awesome. That Jack Skellington puppet, whatever it was, the guy working it, that was awesome.
It was amazing.
That was
amazing.
Probably my favorite fireworks show.
He stood in front of the castle and he was like larger than life and moving around. And it looked like he was really talking and everything. And it was a puppeteer doing it. He looked real. It was amazing. With the projections and all that. They did great work. But we have this yin and yang about what we're going to do and how to get it done. And then I heard, oh my gosh, it's 3 hours. So now you're less time. And you can get in at 7. But when we went in 2019, we did have some problems. We had gone to Hollywood Studios in the morning, and so we did an early morning Magic. Our fast passes were with Hollywood Studios, so we could not book fast passes for the Magic Kingdom for the 4:00 until we were done with our 3. And then I think maybe I got one of them, but it was so crowded the day we went. It was turned out to be a sold out party, and we couldn't get on anything between the 4 and the 6 or 7. We kind of stood around. The first time ever at Disney, like, what are we going to do? Okay, we'll go do Carousel of Progress because there wasn't. It was so packed, and that's when you saw like the volume of the people at the parties, like that waiting for the parade. It was. I tried to stake a spot out. People would come. They tried to stand in front of you, next to you. Remember all that? Like I had to ask some people. Like they were like standing on me, and I was like, I've been waiting here, and some people were really rude about it. Like I was shocked with the parade. Shocked about it. Like some of the people. And I was just standing where I was standing, and some people took their kids and they shoved them in the front of these families that were waiting hours without even asking, you know what I mean? Just like you showed up and then they walk away, and I'm always concerned for their kids. Like, are you watching where your kid is? You know, because I'm helicoptering kind of trying to make sure, you know, everybody's.
Just push them in. They become part of It's a Small World.
Yeah, we're excited for. I'm waiting for Halloween Horror Nights information to come out. You know, now that we kind of know what's going on.
And we're guessing you're going to have to make reservations for your nights, maybe to get in. That's what Dave and I think. Maybe because can they let everyone in? Or are they going to?
They've been so anti-reservation. I don't know. Maybe you have to buy the day. Like the tickets will be day specific, I guess.
We have that BOGO thing where you can buy one, get one that we bought previously. So we're rolling it over, and it's just one night. I think it was a Saturday night. You can't use it. There's one night of the week previously you couldn't use it. We'll see what happens with it. But
we usually get the like the first 3 weekends ticket, that Frequent Fear or something. But we go for one like weekend where it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we'll go for 3 or 4 nights in a row, which. That wear you out. That's a lot of.
And it's late. You're there late night too, because you're.
Yeah, and you're there late night, and then Tom wakes up at 6 a.m. and says, "Come on, everybody, we got to drive to Tampa and ride some roller coasters."
I believe
that's a diehard. I love that.
I believe it with you guys.
It is just exhausting.
I believe that.
You only live once, man.
Have you guys done the Stay and Scream with Halloween Horror Nights before? Dave and I did it for the first time in 2019.
Yeah. It's wonderful. And they also have a, what's it called? Joanna, we did it, where you can buy it's like a 3-hour block where you can go in at a certain time. And basically you can enter Stay and Scream without a day ticket. What is it?
Yeah, you get in early. Was that side entrance we went to?
Well, no, that was because we stayed on site. That side entrance, but there was another ticket that you could buy. Awesome. There's another ticket that you could buy that let you into Universal Studios like at 3 p.m. and you could be there from 3 p.m. until.
Then that's right, because we had to scan 2 tickets going in that day.
Yes, then you could go into Stay and Scream, even though you didn't have a day ticket. You bought a short, so you could go in and you had like 2 hours when the regular park was open. So then you could hit like the makeup show, the horror makeup show, and stuff that isn't open during Halloween Horror Nights. You can still hit that stuff, go to Stay and Scream, and then you had this stuff. It was really good price. I don't remember what it was. It's like $20 $25, I think. And of course, you only got a couple hours, but man, from what you saved, I mean, I don't know if you guys ever waited outside that gate. Not if you stayed on site, but the main gate.
Our nephew has.
If you ever waited out there, that is the worst. Like any amount of money to get out of that sea of humanity.
The line is like a mile long of thousands of people.
You have to wait like an hour and a half. You're in the dead sun. You're sweating. Everyone's creeping in. There's no really clear lines, so people are kind of like just trying to sneak in ahead of you. So basically, you have to be on the person ahead of you, like their back. You have to be like perched on their back, so no one can get in. Oh, it is awful. It is an awful scene, man. You're on site. You go in the side entrance. So much better. Or Stay and Scream is the best, obviously.
Stay and Scream, because that's the one we did Ghostbusters, right?
Yes, we did. We paid
because
to
we
go
were already
in
the park, so we were in
Is that the
line
one we
before
went to
anyone
do?
lined
Did
up.
we do Ghostbusters or the other one?
I don't know, but by Stay and Scream, we mean Chris gets in line, and then I run to the Irish bar to refresh the drinks.
Finnegan's.
Yes.
Now, I will say when we waited, I was baking in the sun waiting there. Like, it was miserable. It was so hot in that Stay and Scream. Dave, seriously, he did go get a drink.
It wasn't
that.
On the sun was okay in Finnegan's. It wasn't on me at all.
I was like, oh no, if I'm staying here, I'm staying here. And then people were so nice. I made so many friends, like, waiting around. But,
up at
what an
Simpson
event.
Land, that's where you go, because you get a Duff beer, you can get the squishies. You're set. You're set there.
See, it's tough though, because you're always trying to position. What do I want to hit first? So I go to one of the 2 or 3 most popular ones, so I can get it done, and then you have no hope of getting in the next one. Or do you go to the back and get all those other ones done? That's what we're going to do 2 nights this time.
That's why we never went to Simpsons Land, and the Stay and Scream went up by Finnegan's, because Ghostbusters and Stranger Things, we missed Stranger Things in 2018 because we didn't have time.
Yeah.
So both the Stranger Things and Ghostbusters are up towards the front of the park. So that's why we went to that Stay and Scream, so we can make sure and get those
because we knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go multiple nights. We always go one night. We do the Fast Pass. Now it's pricey, but let me tell you something. It is heaven.
About doing that.
It is heaven. Mm-hmm. It is so wonderful just to walk. And they have the RIP tour, which we've always discussed, and we've never pulled the trigger. And depending on what night you get the Fast Pass, the RIP tour is only maybe $50 more, and that's where you get food at the beginning, and you don't wait. They walk you right through all the lines, and then you get your Fast Pass at the end of the tour. Then you can still go through everything and do everything. So the RIP tour is something that we want to do coming up. It is expensive, but boy, you are treated like a king. But
when we checked on the Fast Pass, and we've stayed at the Hard Rock the last 2 times we went, so close walking in, and you go to the desk and you're like, hey, what does the Fast Pass cost for Halloween Horror Nights tonight? And they tell you $200 a person. And then you like fall down. We're like, okay, we're okay. But we're like, maybe we should.
Depends on the night of the week you go too.
It does, yeah. We're normally there around a weekend. Yeah. So it's kind of.
That's what we do too. That's what we do.
The kids.
Yeah. But we'll go like 2 or 3 nights. In one night, we'll do the Fast Pass. So the other nights, we'll hit what we want. The Fast Pass night, and then the last night we do basically the highlights of what the houses we want to do. But yeah, I mean the Fast Pass night, it's heaven. It is so good.
Just get to everything.
It's one, and you don't waste your Fast Pass when you first go in, because you can get through a bunch of houses without any waits. You save it because you only get 1 per house, and then later in the night you can knock out every house, and then you get the show and you get the rides. You get the Fast Pass rides. It's expensive. I can't argue that. It's expensive, but if you're not taking the whole family, and you guys usually don't, right? I mean, the kids usually are over Islands of Adventure, then they go back to the hotel, so it's only you guys. So it's not so bad for you guys, but yeah, if you have a family of 5, it can be costly. But it's good.
It also depends, like not only how many people you have, but if you're just going on a Saturday night, I would highly consider that, because it's so packed. You won't get all 10 houses, assuming they have 10 this year. Yeah.
Especially if you're at the front gate starting. I mean, if you're not Stay and Scream, man, that's rough.
And I kind of wish we'd like to stay in the hotels that give you the express pass during the day. So we'll choose one of the 3 that gives you that as a benefit of trying to ride all the rides. The kids love that. Of course, who wouldn't? But I kind of wish they would have a deal so you could add on and do the Halloween Horror Nights with it too. Because some people ask that. I see that. They're like, oh, does Express count for Halloween Horror Nights too? And it's like, no.
It'd be nice if you could pick. Yeah, pick which one day or night. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and start wrapping this up here. We can talk, and we have talked on their podcast for another hour and a half. But so, Tom and Joanna, we appreciate you being on so much. Tom, you want to give one last plug for your channel and your podcast where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. We're at the Vacationeers Theme Parks and More, the podcast. It can be found anywhere you listen to podcasts. And our YouTube channel, Vacationeers Podcast, we have a variety of stuff. We don't really do this. I mean, we do the Great Disney Debate. We've done that. We have a lot of POVs. There's a lot of me on vacation at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and stuff. And I chat to the camera, but we don't really sit down and talk. We save that basically for the podcast. But we have so much content on the YouTube channel now. I don't even know what do we have. I don't even know. I know we have POVs, ton of Disney POVs, Busch Gardens and SeaWorld POVs. Busch Garden Williamsburg events. If you're a fan of Busch Gardens Williamsburg, I go to all their events and I do a tour. We walk around, kind of like a vlog type deal. But anything that hits me, anything that I feel like doing, we put on there and see if it sticks. Half the stuff we do and it does, no one watches and we kind of stop. And if it's basically if it's something we want to do, we do it and. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff. We went to Vegas, Disney. We have Myrtle Beach coming up. We got Hawaii coming up, California stuff, Orlando stuff. Just you name it. We're going there and we're recording stuff. So.
And you have some cool POVs, like you have one from SeaWorld riding the water ride on it. That's really cool. You have different angles of that. You have you've been doing it for years, the different POVs. So it's pretty cool. I can see your Splash Mountain one here has 1,500 views.
Yeah.
Very
Splash
popular.
Mountain is, very popular. Yeah. And I think coming up, I'm going to do a side-by-side Splash Mountain, both kind of like we did for the Great Disney Debate, but I'm going to do a standalone where it's just the two of them. Because, people like Splash Mountain, including myself. So it's interesting to watch them both, Disneyland and Disney World, go at the same time. And see the little differences. So I plan on doing that, but I just haven't gone to it. Tomorrow I will be releasing Flight of Passage from Animal Kingdom. So go to the YouTube channel so you can watch the POV. I did it today. It looks fantastic. Good times. Joanna, you've never ridden that, so by all means tomorrow you get on there and you watch that.
And that's the Avatar ride?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
See, look, I know all this.
Simulator one. Yeah.
The sequel will be out in 5 to 10 years.
Maybe.
And you can see, the Busch Gardens ones you've gone to this year, very popular. And last year you did in Hershey Park you went to last year. There's you can see the trending of people are very interested in what's going on. I mean, you really cover Busch Gardens. You go to all their events. I think you mentioned you're going again this weekend, right?
Yeah, Friday night I booked reservations, so we're going to get one last hurrah on their Food and Wine Festival. So expect a video of that as well coming next week sometime. Yeah. And
Tom, your style is unique in how you do theme parks because you're videoing and you show it's like a walking tour, but you're talking and you're talking with Ian or you're talking with Joanna. You share if you're tasting food, but you kind of bring people along just kind of like they're a part of your family and they're walking through the park with you. I guess that's the best way to describe it, right? And you're kind of showing things and it's not like a narrated first person type thing. It's very much you can go along. And normally Tom walks really fast and he does 7 laps very quickly. And they try to figure out what ride they're going to ride because they go off. And so it's kind of fun to watch.
It's taken me I can appreciate your walking fast. It's taken me about a year of doing vlogs to get out of Chris's way when she's filming. Otherwise, the early vlogs on her channel, it's just my back. That's not my better side. So,
yeah, and you have no idea how fast he walks. Well, there were years where I used to run 30 miles a week and couldn't keep up with Tom in a park. And now I just don't try.
I'm 6'1", so I got a long stride.
I see sometimes people are running in front of Tom to try to get to a park and then he's walking past them as you see them running. So to try to get to a ride. I think that happened at Hershey Park when you went.
Tom would make a great horror movie villain.
Yeah, I never run. I just walk
just
really
a young
fast.
woman running away from him and Tom just walking behind her.
You wear her down eventually.
That is so funny.
All right, Chris, what do we have? On our channel recently?
I'll pull it up. So we've been doing some different things. A lot of Dollywood. Dave took me there for my birthday. His birthday is close time frame with that, and so I had a surprise birthday trip to Dollywood, so we covered several things with that. And with Dollywood, we introduced a new, what I'm calling a Sights and Sounds of Theme Parks tour. I wanted to do this forever, and we got a GoPro Hero 9 Black that allows me to do the walking. I was trying it with our Sony ZV-1, and it was too bouncy, and some of the parks don't let you bring a gimbal in. It depends. So I did it with Dollywood, and I did it with Six Flags like a weekend or so ago, walking around and just not talking, but just kind of showing what the parks look like. And we're going to have more coming out. So
we have a playlist. I don't think Chris doesn't even know that. We have a Sights and Sounds walking tour playlist. So we have Six Flags and Dollywood and DCA and Disneyland. So as we get a chance to film more of the parks with the GoPro, we'll just walk around and let everybody enjoy the parks with the sights and sounds that you would see if you were there. Yeah. So we do a very quick intro, we do a very quick outro, and it's basically no talking, so limited commentary.
And it's kind of interesting to see what you catch or don't catch. Six Flags was hit or miss, and when I caught the roller coasters going or not, or some of the rides. So sometimes like this one, you can see I kind of got a shot of some of the different things going, and there's some areas where you can stand under them, but I kind of put some of the bigger coasters. This is their Goliath. And so it's just kind of cool. Six Flags is a cool park because there's roller coasters everywhere. You can hear the screaming. The downside of this series, and why most people don't do it, I did not overlay any music or anything, is it has exactly what you hear in the park. And at a place like Six Flags or Dollywood, there is copyrighted music in there. You are hearing whatever is being played. So a lot of people don't do this because you get copyright strikes. So I want to do it and just kind of see what happens, see if people like it. I've gotten some great comments from the Six Flags one, people kind of noticing what the park looks like because it's hilly and it has a lot of trees and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting. So if you guys were interested in what it looked like, it's long. I mean, it's over an hour. I definitely walked through almost everything. So, and we have we have some plans for the summer of some surprise places that we're planning on going, some more theme parks and things like that. So we're busy. We have lots of things. We went strawberry picking last weekend. Some folks may not be really into that. We love that, like the U-Picks. But the place we went in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Blue Ridge, Georgia, we're going to do a series on apple picking there. That's where people go in Atlanta or Georgia to pick apples in the fall, which you wouldn't think Georgia's a place where you pick apples. But actually, it's a pretty big tourist industry and when the leaves change. But some of these places do things year-round. And so we do this a lot. We just videoed this last one. A lot of times we don't video when we're doing it. So just to kind of show what's out there, figuring some people would kind of like to see it. So
yeah, it's Mercier Orchards. Easy for me to say. So
you see Dave here? He's like dancing. He's just.
Oh, I took us off the stream.
Oh, you did. Sorry, he was like dancing.
I took us off the screen.
I'm watching the video that you guys aren't seeing. I'll stop it.
Yeah, so. We're wrapping up, Chris.
I know we are.
Can I ask a question before you wrap up?
Yeah,
because I know Halloween is, or your guys' favorite holiday. Is there anything you're going to be covering this year that you haven't covered in years past that you're excited about?
I'm going to say Halloween Horror Nights, even though we have some videos up.
We haven't really done
it. We've got better tech, and we've got some low light tech. So, and I know you can't film in the houses. I get that. But there'll be...
and some of the experiences around it, we're going to approach it from a different perspective of coming as a family and kind of what goes into that. So, we're not there in Orlando all the time, kind of like you guys, how you talk through that planning and all of that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
And there's going to be more. We covered Netherworld pretty good, which is a top haunted house in the U.S., and it's here in the Atlanta area. I imagine we'll get to more haunts now with with the immunization. I don't know what it's going to be like come Halloween or come October, but it's got to be better than last year. So there'll be some more scare zones.
And the truth
videos.
Is, I am terrified of haunted houses. Like I am absolutely terrified to go in these places, but I love it. Like I am so scared. We go to Netherworld. I am so scared getting there. My heart rate's probably like 130 beats per minute. Like I just was running. Like that's how scared I am. And so I hope to translate that into some of the video of like filming outside, and we don't film in the house, but There are some around here. There's smaller things around here that we may or may not cover. We watched some of it last year, and we'll just see. When you go to the best one, which is Netherworld, it's hard. And I'm going to try to do a Six Flags walking tour at Halloween and Christmas if I can do it, to kind of show the park at different times of the year and how they decorate. Of course, we're going to do Six Flags, and this time we'll probably pay for their express pass. We didn't before, and we waited in line, so we'll probably do some express. And I think Madison will be brave enough. She went in one house with us or two that she'll probably do it with us this year.
Oh, nice.
Dean's not interested in the haunted stuff, so and we'll see what else. I mean, that's a great question. Like if we could have, we would have gone to Trans World that just happened in Kansas City, which is a huge Halloween and Christmas convention. We would have totally gone to that.
That sounds wonderful.
All the animatronics and lights and things you see at places at Christmas or Halloween. Like it was a 4-day event that just happened last weekend. Like if we could have done it, I would have done that in a hot second. I said the problem is though, it's professional. It's what the haunts use. Some of these things. So if you're going to buy animatronic, the thing's like $2,000. It's not the Spirit version for $299. So, which we're going to go to Spirit too. I'll video my reaction. I'm scared of the animatronics in Spirit, and I video that. I'm always like stepping. It's going to get me, and I know it's fake. Like I just love that stuff. It scares me.
I love that Spirit video though, because I always love the Spirit stores around here. And when you put up the video of it, I got the whole family we watched a stupid Spirit video, and we're so happy.
Isn't that funny? And we'll go as soon as it opens. It's like I know it's going to be beginning of August, and there's certain ones in the Atlanta area that open before others, and so it's the ones near us do not open early, so you got to like figure out which ones do. It's
we get funny. Spirit emails all year
already.
long.
Like I can tell you, halfway to Halloween, I get emails, 2 emails. At least a week from them. Yeah.
Tom, Spirit would be our timeshare. You can look at it that
way. For sure.
And we love Christmas too. I do. You know, we have a lot of plans for the Christmas videos with some of the tech and what we think we can do. So with some of the areas that are in the Atlanta area, there's lots of lights you can see and stuff like that.
I look forward
but that's
to
coming. That's months. That's months away, but we know once the kids get back in school, it's going to be like full steam ahead with like fall hits, and there's so many things going on, and then with all the kids' activities, and then through Christmas, and trying to fit it all in. And we know enough now. We know we have to go right in the beginning when the things like open, because the crowds. Number one, you want to kind of beat the crowd so you can film and not interrupt. But to get everything done, you need to get done. Yeah. So Dave has this whole calendar of things trying to figure out. Similar to you guys, right? You go to all different places. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we're going to end the stream here in just a second. We'll play a little outro. And Tom and Joanna, do you want to give your taglines like you do on your podcast, your outlines?
That's right.
When you listen to the podcast, you think it just comes out of me, but no, I have to think about it. There's like a 20-minute not that long. we think about what we talk about in the episode, and then I say it. So yeah, it's not something I could just do on a whim.
It can't be done live.
It cannot be done live. Okay.
Well, I could say, keep making memories. I suppose that's the end of it. So yeah, keep making memories,
and have a Six Flags day.
And may the adventures be with you.
All right, stay on, everybody.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and
ringing a bell,
so you'll be notified of our next upload. And as always, may the adventures be with you.